Welcome to the latest edition of the Maps for Kids Showcase. We're glad you joined us as we take a look at the improvements of our city schools thanks to the Maps for Kids initiative. I'm your host, Tierney Tinnin. Currently, middle schools within the Oklahoma City Public School District are undergoing renovations thanks to the tax increase approved by voters in 2001. These renovations include additional classrooms, improvements to the infrastructure, and newly redesigned athletic areas for student athletes. Well, on today's show, we are celebrating a true milestone for an elementary school in North Oklahoma City. Take a look at this. Edgemere Elementary School opened its doors as Edgemere School in 1912, making this its 100th year of educating students in Oklahoma City. Here's a look at the special event held in September to celebrate the centennial birthday for that school. Former teachers, students, and current community and school leaders were on hand to sing happy birthday to the school and toured the school that completed its Maps for Kids renovations a few years ago. And joining me now is Edgemere Elementary School Principal Susan G. Thank you so much for being on the showcase today.
It's great to see you.
Now, Edgemere has a lot of community support, small classroom sizes, super cute kids. What are some of the other attributes about your school that makes it so special?
I think the community support for our school and the parent support for our students. They work very diligently to make sure their students are learning every day at a safe place, and we make that environment safe. We've implemented great expectations, a methodology for teaching, and core knowledge, and we have a safe and healthy school committee that helps us to work to make sure the students are in a safe and healthy place every day so they can learn.
I know that you talked about some really important initiatives that you have in place, but what are some that you're doing to really increase math and reading scores? We know that that's something that parents are really interested in.
We have a program implemented, Book Buddies, that we invite the community to be involved with our students. And this year we're including in that initiative that a book buddy will read with the student one-on-one and begin to have some rapport with that student. Also, we have Whiz Kids volunteers who meet with our students every Monday afternoon from 3:10 to 5 o'clock, and they build rapport with not only their student that they have as a buddy that they read with and work on reading skills, but also some rapport with the family, which is really important to our families in our school. We also have implemented Building a Reading City.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to build a city throughout our building. Every time a student reads a book, they're going to be given a building to list the name of the book and have their name. And then we'll have rewards at the end of the school year, along with the rewards that they receive from the school district.
It must be so much fun to be an elementary principal. What a cute, great idea for that school.
It is. I love being able to implement those things with the students and to see how excited they are. Every day at Rise and Shine, we celebrate their successes.
Wonderful students. And you know, you're building 100 years old, as we mentioned. Doesn't look a day over, I don't know, 30, I guess you could say. We know that during the tour and the big celebrations, the teachers really were able to have teachable moments for those kids when you took a tour. Explain what they did to celebrate.
Well, each of the teachers took an era from 1912 to 2012 and created lessons with the students and taught those lessons during the time that we had tours of the former students and alumni and also district employees that came to visit us that day. We had fourth grade had the Dust Bowl era, and it was very interesting. Some of the former students sat down and joined them for a lesson, and then were actually able to share because they were at Edgemere during the Dust Bowl era themselves.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful teachable moment. And for those students to learn about history for 100 years was very, very important because it's very difficult for small children to realize how long 100 years is and how many different innovations have come about.
I was able to go to the ceremony and I saw a lot of folks from different eras. What are some of the comments that you heard from the people that were there from when they went to school there and to see now what it looks like after Maps for Kids renovations?
Well, they were surprised that we no longer had an auditorium and it was a media center, but they were very impressed with all the computers that we have in our building. Those certainly weren't available from the classes of the 1940s and 30s that we had people visiting us. They were amazed at the technology in the classroom, the smart boards, the document cameras that students have to use. Even a simple listening center with a CD player and headphones was not available at the time they were there. And they made a comment that no longer was the crossing guard all day long at the building in a little house that we have 2 crossing guards that come to our school before the school hours
And
and at the end of the day, and they were really surprised about that. The class of 1962 left a time capsule, and they came back hoping to find it, but it was not there. And we have no idea where it is. So we're looking for their time capsule, and we hope to find it so we can actually open it and let our children enjoy that also.
So if anyone knows where it might be, call the school, maybe help them out so they can find that time capsule.
Definitely.
So we talked about some of the things that people saw and came to the school and were surprised about. 50 years from now, if you go back and visit Edgemere, what do you hope to see at the school and for your students there?
Well, I definitely hope there's an elevator, because at that time I will need one, definitely. I hope to see our students from today there at that celebration and talking about their teachers, their classmates, and all of those things that they remember. Some of those classmates came back with lists of names of their classmates that they remembered and shared those with us. They were so excited to see classmates, and they had pictures they brought with them, their class pictures, their pictures of their teachers. I hope that our students will do that too and be able to come back and enjoy as much of the building as I saw the people enjoy that came to our celebration earlier this month.
Well, when I've toured the building, I like the multi-levels. Probably not in 50 years. I'll probably need an elevator as well. The media center is great. What are some other aspects of the building that make you so proud?
I'm so proud of the wonderful murals that we have. Harding School of Fine Arts added murals in 2010 when the school reopened after MAPS. We have the mural of the handprints that began in 1989 and has students' handprints all the way through 1995, and we're planning to add to that this year if possible. So we have the 2012 handprints of our students. I'm so proud of my teaching staff, and I think they make the wonderful difference for students every day in those classrooms. And I'm glad that we have a multi-ethnic population. I think that's very important for students to get to learn about diversity and how we can all work together. We have a wonderful playground, and you know, we're working to make it better every day. We've just added tetherball and basketball and soccer goals to our field, and it's really exciting to see those things coming about that are improvements that the neighborhoods helped us to make.
The murals are beautiful in your school, but there's also this amazing statue. Tell us about this great statue.
The Joan of Arc statue was donated to the school by the class of 1946.
Wow.
And at one time, the statue was removed from the school and taken to the administration building to keep it from being vandalized. One of the former students from the class of 46, Jim Fentress, was in the administration building and saw that Joan of Arc was there, and he noticed that her foot was damaged. So he took it upon himself to take it to a sculpture artist and have the foot replaced, and then have it returned to Edgemere. And he came to the school to do an interview and told us the story of students coming up the original front steps of the building and touching Joan of Arc every day, and when they were having a test, coming out and rubbing Joan's hand and asking her for help. You know that she is definitely a model for courage and perseverance for every one of our students every day. When they hear the story of Joan of Arc, they're amazed that we have that statue.
I'm glad it's there as well.
I am too. I love having that statue to walk by every day.
Well, you know, we are just getting started here on the Maps for Kids Showcase. When we come back, we will chat with Kelly Pearson from the Friends of Edgemere. But first, thanks to the voters who approved Maps for Kids, Edgemere Elementary received more than $3.9 million in renovations. There are new floors, a new fresh coat of paint, updated classrooms, cafeteria, and office area. Stay with us for more on the Maps for Kids Showcase. Welcome back to the Maps for Kids Showcase. Renovations have wrapped up at Eugene Field Elementary School. The school held its formal grand opening and ribbon cutting recently. Eugene Field Elementary now have updated classrooms, media center, and cafeteria for students. Right now, we want to take a moment to recognize a strong supporter of Edgemere Elementary School and its students and staff, of course, Kelly Pearson from the Friends of Edgemere. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We just had a great interview with Mrs. G, and now we want to talk about the great community support we have with the Friends of Edgemere. So tell us how this group came to be.
Well, back in 2008, I went up to the school. I'm a former teacher, so I wanted to volunteer, and I went to open house and asked the principal at the time if he could use any help. He gave me a huge list.
I think he could.
And I thought, oh, I need help. And so I contacted the neighbors in my area and other neighborhood leaders in the areas around the school. And we met with Superintendent Springer and Robin Hilger from the foundation. And the next thing I knew, we had started Friends of Edgemere. Two former students decided to co-chair for us. And so we have Judge Ralph Thompson and Ed Cook are our co-chairs on the committee. And we started 4 years ago, and we've been going strong. This is our 5th year.
Oh, that is great. So what are some of the goals of the group for the students and the staff at Edgemere?
Our main goal all along has been just to support the teachers, the students, and their parents. In the last year, getting to know the former students of the school, the students from the 30s and the 40s, we saw the exceptional education that they received at Edgemere. And so I think we've kind of fine-tuned our goal. We don't want to just be the best school in Oklahoma City. We want to be exceptional. So this organization is there to support the teachers and the students as they strive to be excellent.
And I think that you all are absolutely dedicated to supporting the Edgemere Robins at that school. Tell us some of the ways that some of the projects you all have completed for Edgemere.
Well, overall, we've raised around $100,000,
Wow.
And then also we've had in-kind donations. So we've done, our first project included furnishing the school with all new furniture. We bought one large playground piece, and did window treatments throughout the school. The window treatments were a fun little thing because one of our alumni owns Design Resources, Michael Smith, and he gave us the blinds at his cost. Actually, it was 10% under his cost. He got a deal from the manufacturer for us, and so we got the blinds at 10% under cost, and then his company installed them for free. So if you've been to Edgemere and you've seen the windows at Edgemere and how many there are and how large they are, that was a huge undertaking. So we did that, and then we've continued to support them with volunteers and professional development opportunities and bringing programs into the school that we think will benefit the kids, and so lots of things.
And something really exciting, a new Centennial Playground that you all are working on. I know the
Yes.
kids are going to love that as well.
Yes, I'm very excited about this project. Mrs. G told you about some of the other things that we've recently been able to put in, the soccer goals and the tetherball. But we're looking to also, in the near future, put in a sports court that can double as both basketball and then put a net up and play tennis or volleyball. And then we also want to put in 2 bays of swings and maybe some shade canopies. So we've got some more plans. During the Centennial, we launched the Centennial Playground Project, and anyone who donates $500 or more will receive their name on a bronze plaque that's going to be placed on the school grounds. So it'll be there for eternity. So when they come back to visit in 50 years, they can see their name on the plaque. And then yesterday we got some really amazing news that I want to share with everybody.
Oh, breaking news?
Breaking news. Not very many people know. We were given a pledge of $50,000, and it's a matching pledge. So if we can raise, whatever we raise up to $50,000 will be matched dollar for dollar.
That's wonderful.
So we're really hoping that people will take that on, and their end-of-year donations they'll send to Edgemere so that we can match that pledge.
And you know, this partnership began with one person who just had a passion for kids and wanted to help the school, and you've grown it into something that's really amazing. Tell us why it's so important that every school have a group similar to this to show support.
It is so important for every child in every school to have advocates, and sometimes the community doesn't know that they can advocate for children that aren't their own, but they can, and it's literally turned the school around. I believe Mr. Springer was quoted not too long ago saying something along the lines of, this Edgemere School is what can happen when a community wraps their arms around a small school. Well, we take really great pride in that. We feel like that's what we have done and what we're going to continue to do. It's good for the neighborhoods because it raises property values to have such a good school in your neighborhood. It helps the district because educating people about the needs of the schools and the school district will create advocates for the district. So there's just so many good things about doing it and getting people involved in it, and I encourage everybody to get involved in their local school. It's important.
Well, for the folks that are interested in joining your group or may want to give donations to that Centennial Playground, how can they reach you?
Okay, they can call the school at 587-5100 and speak with Mrs. G, and she can forward those calls on to me. Or I can be reached via email. It's kelly@pearsonokc.com. Or checks can be mailed to the Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools at 5225 North Chartel, Suite 201, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73118. And just be sure and designate that those go to Edgemere School.
You were prepared.
I
like that.
I'm ready.
Let's get those donations going. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today on the Maps for Kids Showcase, and we applaud you and your entire group for your support of the Edgemere Robin. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here is a look at Capitol Hill Elementary School. Construction crews are still busy at work, but the renovations are moving right along for the little Capitol Hill Elementary Little Chiefs. A few Oklahoma City Thunder basketball players even stopped by to drop off a new book for every single student. We will revisit Capitol Hill Elementary in the coming months when the construction is complete. Thank you so much for joining us on the Maps for Kids Showcase. This show will air monthly on City Channel 20, taking viewers inside our city schools for a look at the improvements made thanks to the Maps for Kids sales tax. For more information on Maps for Kids, visit okc.gov, and to learn more about Oklahoma City Public Schools, visit okcps.org. But before we go, you got to take a look at this. Here's a few photos of Oklahoma City Public School Superintendent Carl Springer teaching a kindergarten class at North Highland Elementary about the great state of Florida. The superintendent made a wager with the superintendent of Miami-Dade County on the outcome of the NBA Finals, and we all know how it turned out. The Miami Heat took home the World Championship trophy, and Mr. Springer kept his promise and taught these sweet students about Florida while wearing a LeBron James jersey. Thank you to the Oklahoma City Thunder for donating a Thunder t-shirt to every student and teacher in that class. It was great fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Tierney Tinnin. We'll see you next time.